Good morning. Nice to have you on the show, Conversation. My name is Elizabeth, and I'm smiling from chin to chin because we're going to be sharing secrets of longevity. And I know that a lot of people wonder at certain things about their lives, and the answers are sitting right in front of us. Do we know it? Do we even use it? I don't know. But I know that between me and every other person in the house, we've been, discussing about certain things about people, our parents, how our parents used to, do things for themselves, how our parents used to, some of them abuse their bodies by what they eat and what they do. And for those who did it right, they had good health and they had a longer life too. All right, the show is a conversation, and not too long ago, a body in Nigeria and the whole world celebrated something. It is the Physiotherapist World's Physiotherapy Day. We are part of it because at the end of the day, mobility is what keeps us healthy, and sedentary life actually diminishes our life gradually. I'll tell you more about that after we have introduced our guests. I already introduced myself.
Okay, I'm Dr. Mbamal Chibike, Chairman, Nigeria Society of Physiotherapy, FCT chapter.
Okay.
Pleasure.
My name is Dr. Kela Yusuf. I'm a senior physiotherapist at the National Hospital, Abuja.
Okay.
I'm Aldridge Bennett Ilechuku, the head of Department of Physiotherapy, State House Clinic, Abuja.
Okay.
My name is Deva. I'm at your mom. I'm a couch potato.
I was going to actually give you that title. Rule breaker.
I'm Dr. This and Dr. the other person and Dr. one thing or the other. There's no point. I'm just a couch potato.
Yeah, Dr. Rule breaker. All right, so I told you on Saturday actually, they had a little show to demonstrate what we must do to keep our bones healthy, and of course possibly avoid medications rather than live on it. And two little boys, they were there. They captured the essence and told us the story. Let's see it. Glitch there, but once it's ready, we'll bring it to you. But I know that earlier on we talked about exercises and how to keep our bodies tight with it. And within the week again, somebody told us that you may not need medicine that much if you really exercise, because exercise on its own is medicine. I don't know, is that true or not?
Fact. That's a fact. Exercise is medicine. Over the years, we've preached to the world that exercise is medicine. As physiotherapists, World Physiotherapy, we've been preaching that instead of, there are so many things you can avoid by not taking medication, just by simple exercises that can help to prevent different non-communicable diseases like arthritis, like stroke, different kinds of back pain, neck pain. So many things exercise can do. It's just that we hardly exercise. We hardly see it as medicine. So the earlier we take it as medicine, the better for us. We have to change our lifestyle.
I'm finding that difficult. Really,
it's not in all cases that exercise sorts you out. And number one, you have to do it right. It has to be prescribed. Like I always tell people,
exercise too is prescribed.
Yes,
of course.
They
prescribe medicine.
Yes, prescribe exercise, so that you don't overdo, like overdosing. You don't underdo, like underdosing. You don't do the wrong thing, like taking the wrong medication. So, but there are illnesses, diseases that you actually require medication for. But exercise, like he has said, helps you with the non-communicable diseases. Even toothache, you may still need to do your medication. I wouldn't tell you to go and chew gum because you have toothache, exercising the jaw muscles. But by and large, exercise helps to a large extent in many of the conditions that we come down with.
Okay, if I have a headache, for instance, doctors, will you take it away?
Sometimes headache could be as a result of stress. So some people, when they're exposed to stress for a prolonged period of time, they could end up having headaches. So one thing that exercise does for you is that it helps to reduce stress. So I know that sometimes people will be like, but if I exercise, I'll end up being under a lot of stress. But what it does is when you exercise, you have the happy hormones, which are the endorphins, being released in your system. And that would help, to relieve the stress that you're having. So that in turn can help you to reduce the headache that you're having.
You actually hit the nail, because this morning I woke up, I had a bit of a, heavy head. I don't know whether to call it exercise, but they look as if there was a cloud in my brain. I got up and tried a bit of stretching from what I learned on Saturday. Did a bit of jumping jack. And I wasn't thinking about that headache up until now I mentioned it. Because I noticed I don't have it anymore.
Yes.
All right? My couch potato.
Well, okay.
I know you're not an exercise freak.
I'm not. The thing is, weirdly enough, as a younger person, as a child, I really wanted to engage in sporting activities, which are a form of exercise, of course. Light sports, nothing too aggressive. Things like badminton and so on and so forth. It didn't happen. And then in school, somehow the culture never came to exist in my life. And I also grew up around parents who were very happy to sit down and watch TV or read a newspaper. It just wasn't their thing.
Yeah.
They were my dad was extremely intellectual. My mother was more the house chore. Okay, I'm done with the house chores. What I need to do now is rest. And, things like that. So I didn't grow up with a culture of exercise. When I wanted to get involved in sporting activities, it was practically discouraged. And somewhere along the line, I got very comfortable with not exerting myself intentionally. So yeah, I'll do house chores, I'll clean, I'll sweep, I'll dust, mop and everything. And once I've done that, I feel like I've earned my next 10 hours in front of the TV. And so it's not I won't lie, it's not my thing to do. When I hear that people do exercise and get endorphins and things like, when I have the misfortune of having to take a walk that lasts longer than 10 minutes, I feel as if I'm suffering. Oh, woe is me. Why did I find myself in this nasty position? I'm not even going to lie about it. I hate walks. I hate climbing the staircase or coming down it, as the case may be. My dream home is a flat, a 1-bedroom if possible, so that I can have very short walks. If it were possible, that chair that you sit in that takes you up the staircase that they keep for
old people. God.
If we had it in the house, it would be my fantasy.
God.
Hate exerting myself at things like that. Now, I'm married to somebody who comes home and tells me, look at the phone, I made 10,000 steps this morning. I'm like, I'm happy for you. And he'll come and do it again in the evening. And he has done everything in his power to get me to take just one round of walks with it. I know it helps bonding and I'm happy to bond with him over gossiping, and things like that. So I married somebody who is the total opposite. And I'm trying to
change.
I'm working on my mental state, so that I can get to that place where I stop feeling as if I'm suffering when I'm doing exercise. I've never exercised and felt good afterwards. I feel out of breath. My spleen is giving me nonsense. I'm sweaty and of course smelling as a result. So you have to go and take a shower you're not ready for. It's not my thing.
Okay, so this is a complete apathy to the medicine that exercises bring. And let me take you back to your celebration this year. It's focused on osteoarthritis. And from her story, I keep imagining what it will be like when she's maybe 60, 70, and still living in front of a television set. But for starters, I'd like to know, why did you choose the osteoarthritis?
Okay, World Physiotherapy Body was actually formed on September 8, 1951. That's when they kind of come together, the communities of physiotherapists from in different countries came together and now form an alliance. In 1996, September 8th, they now decided to kind of celebrate it, use it to celebrate the Physiotherapy Day. So World Physiotherapy Day is celebrated every September 8th, and every year the World Physiotherapy Body tries to kind of find out a particular condition that is ravaging the world. So osteoarthritis is the leading cause of disability in the world. They decided that this year we need to kind of carry out the awareness campaign for people to know what osteoarthritis is all about, how it can be prevented, the risk factors involved, and as well how it can be managed, because prevention is actually better than cure. Osteoarthritis can be treated.
It cannot be treated.
It can be treated. You can only manage the symptoms.
What you mean is that it cannot be cured.
It can be.
Once somebody has osteoarthritis, the joints are affected. Okay, let me start with what arthritis is all about. Arthritis is an inflammation of the joints. It is derived from a Greek Latin word called arthron and itis, two Greek Latin words. Arthron means joint, itis means inflammation. So in English they put it together and called it arthritis. There are over 100 forms of arthritis in the world, different types of arthritis, up to 100. Then on all of them we have there are about 5 to 6 basic, the ones that are very common. We have juvenile arthritis, we have lupus arthritis, otherwise known as systemic erythematous arthritis. Then we have another one called gout arthritis, we have another one called rheumatoid arthritis, we have osteoarthritis, which is the most common type of arthritis. So that's osteoarthritis. When you mean osteo, you're talking about bone. Then you're talking about arthritis
Of the bone.
Of the joint.
Okay.
That's because of arthritis, arthron, joint. Then itis, inflammation. So there is a cartilage called articular cartilage that actually kind of cushion the surface of the joint. If you're talking about the joint is made up of 1 or 2 bones that actually come together. So each of the bone where they meet, there is an articular surface that is formed by a protein substance called collagen. So it cushions it and makes it to be like a rubber-like, and reduces the friction between on that joint.
Okay, which is why we can easily
Yes, you can
bend.
easily move your joint.
Okay.
So a situation whereby the articular surface is now is worn and torn. It can lead to several things. It can cause avulsion of maybe the tendon pulling out of the tendon that is actually attached from the muscles to the bones. Can cause it to pull out. It can affect even avulsion of the ligaments. The ligaments join bone to bone. So each joint, there is a ligament that attaches them. So if it is becoming very severe, it can cause that avulsion, pulling out. And that's notwithstanding, if it is mild cases, the articular surface can become rough. So once it becomes rough, it will cause the increase in friction, so thereby creating a grating sound or crackling sound called crepitus. You'll be
Is that why when some people get up, we hear their knee crack?
That's
when
when it's due to arthritis. Crepitus, sometimes it can be air pockets.
Yes.
Now we crack our fingers, our neck. This one is not arthritis.
This one is not arthritis.
You're cracking your finger or your neck is not arthritis. But if there's arthritis of the knee that is advanced, most likely you may come down with crepitus. That was what he was explaining. So let's not get scared that when we crack our fingers.
At least this one I'm the one doing it. But that one is happening on its own. I don't need to crack.
You know, once
it
has to be advanced stage.
You know, without meaning, I see myself in a classroom now, so I better make use of it very well. What in my lifestyle could cause degeneration to the point that I have osteoarthritis?
In your lifestyle?
In your lifestyle.
Yes.
If you are smoking, or you want to talk about it?
Okay.
Well, in your lifestyle, I wouldn't know your lifestyle unless you tell me. But
No,
let me tell you generally.
me is like everybody.
Good. When you say your lifestyle.
Everybody.
Okay. Number one, it's you look at the genetic factors. It can run in the family. So if somebody has a parent, a grandparent, an uncle, an aunt, brother or sister that has had osteoarthritis, chances are that the person may come down with it. We talk about weight.
Weight.
Obesity, because obesity increases the load on the joints. And remember that arthritis affects all the joints, but more especially weight-bearing joints. Ankle, knee, hip, back, neck, and the rest of them. So,
but you know this thing you're mentioning, you say hip. Nigerians, indeed, a lot of girls are doing boot job to get large hips.
Yeah, but that
would
doesn't
also
have anything to do with the hips.
Would it give you weight on the hips and
it's
the
the
knee?
buttocks, not the hips.
Oh, well,
No, that's the weight. It's going to sit on your knee.
I wouldn't know how heavy the thing attached is. But anything that makes you add weight, there's something called optimal weight for everybody when we do the BMI.
Okay.
So if you are above what you should, that means the joints are bearing more weight than usual. We talk about anatomical factors. When the joints are not aligned, because there's a way in physics we are taught that a weight ought to go in a straight line to be able to do the maximum job. So assuming somebody has a very bad case of bow leg, you can see that the weight is not going down the way it should, or K-leg. Okay, so we also have a previous history of injury. Maybe somebody has had a joint injury in the past. It increases the chances, whether it was well treated or not, but it increases the chances. And we also talk about stress, repetitive motion. Some of the sports we do can predispose you to having osteoarthritis. So there are a whole lot of things.
Just to come in, one of the major one, aging. Aging, you can't rule it out. Everybody must age. And quite unfortunate, almost everybody must have arthritis.
Almost everyone?
Yes,
wow.
But the symptoms might not manifest. When you go and take an MRI of your spine, you will notice some arthritis developing once you're up to 40 years. But it's not presenting with symptoms like pain, reduced flexibility, and the rest. So when we become worried is when the symptoms start manifesting. Then that's the time I don't know what's happening to me. You go for a checkup, you now find out, you have arthritis. So many people have it without knowing. You can be going around your business without knowing, but once the symptoms start manifesting, that's when it will be done on you. What you're having is
and that is why, in addition to that, arthritis has another name, degenerative joint disease. Because as we are aging, there's degeneration coming in. So, but not everybody we present with, because apart from the pain, there's limited range of motion in the joint. You can't move. There's even functional impairment. What you used to do before easily, you cannot do. Some people get depressed because of the pain or the money you are spending on medication or the time you are spending going to the hospital. And there are also increasing chances of falls, because when you have arthritis, the muscles sometimes get weaker. You lose balance and coordination, so the person may fall often. So these are some of the things we look out for. And he has mentioned inflammation, something is warm to touch. And that inflammation, what actually causes it? When arthritis is starting, the cartilage.
You say warm to touch, that means if I have it here, if I touch my knee, I'll actually feel some warmth.
In some people.
Oh, okay.
Warm to touch. Because there are enzymes also and things, inflammatory processes happening there. But it's not in everybody. Okay? And some people complain that when they sit for a long time, majority of people, they have pain when they want to get up. And in the mornings when the weather is cold. So these are some of the things we look out for to say that, yes, this is osteoarthritis, or this is not. It could be some other thing.
Also on the risk, the type of food you eat. Because you ask, what are the lifestyle that can expose you to having osteoarthritis? People with advanced like glycation end products, like if you are eating food like margarine,
butter, margarine,
mayonnaise, even corn. If you are eating it in excess.
Wow.
So those that, especially if you have a lineage history that there's osteoarthritis in your family, so you need to kind of mind what you eat. Very, very important. Red meats, processed meats, they are high inflammatory markers. They contain interleukin 6, homocysteine, and as well they contain there's one more thing that's usually C-reactive protein. So that will usually expose people. So if you know that in your lineage there is a history of such, there are some food you need to kind of try to avoid. Even high intake of salt, high intake of sugar,
like salt.
high intake of sugar can as well predispose you. So whenever you have, if you're already having it, you need to see your dietitian to plan your meals. Very, very important. And as well, if you're already having arthritis or you overweight, we professionals, we don't usually encourage people to be jogging because your weight is already too much for your weight-bearing joints. So if you are now jogging, force of gravity is added to your weight.
Wow.
So instead of your weight-bearing joints bearing 3/3 of your body weight, can bear 4/3 of your body weight because of the force of gravity added. So which will cause further wears and tears. So if somebody is overweight and you really want to slim down, we encourage you to do brisk walking. You first of all mind what you eat. So weight reduction starts from what you eat, when you eat it, the type of food you eat, and the quantity of food you eat.
Okay, I'm going to let Dorcas, talk more on this, but I want to believe that the story of Larry and Kamsi is ready because they also have something to say about arthritis and their experiences. If it's ready, let's have it.
My name is Larry. I'm 14 years old. I live in Abuja with my parents. This Saturday, I came to Abuja to spend some time with my auntie, and that's where I met my friend Kamsi.
My name is Kamsi. I'm 13 years old and I live in Abuja. My friend Larry and I went to the stadium with his auntie for sightseeing. There we saw different people with doing different things. And we joined a particular aerobics group. Luckily, they were just starting.
The coach was very nice. People asked different exercise questions and he explained it with practicals. For example,
A question about a particular exercise for those with arthritis, and I was interested because my grandfather, who is also my best friend, had it too.
another person asked about exercise for people that sit for too long, and I was interested because my father is a film editor and can sit for hours working.
The backrest of your chair, you keep light stretching around your spinal area that way and count to 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Then don't go around. That's every go. You can bring the leg up this way and square. Hold across. That way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, that way around.
My grandfather is the chief executive too, and he sits for too long.
I'll take this home so that I can teach my father.
Me too. I'll take it home and teach my grandfather so I can live long for me. It was fun.
All right, it was fun, even watching from here, and I'm particularly happy because at the end of the day, Devon has found some exercises you can do. You were just sharing that you could do.
Yes, I mean, like, it was a relief to see that, you know, you can just sit in a chair and lift your legs up and things like that, and it's still considered exercise. That's definitely something I could do, you know, stretching this way and this way.
You really don't want to leave the house.
Well, okay. There's this exercise we accidentally invented on my daughter's birthday.
Okay.
You know, we had inflated balloons and we, you know, tossed them back and forth, and it was great fun. You know, at the end of the day, there was music on. We're doing this back and forth thing. At the end of the day, everybody was out of breath. My heart was beating really fast. That's part of what you guys want to happen during exercise, right?
Not necessarily. There are 4 types of exercises, 4 classes.
Okay.
So maybe you are thinking that exercise has to be aerobic, the one you sweat.
Yeah,
use breath,
that's my idea of exercise.
Well, that's just one part of it.
Okay.
We have an aerobic, the one you build muscles.
No, of course.
Okay.
I mean, like.
What about flexibility exercises? The one you stretch.
I do need flexibility exercises. Like, I have a stiff shoulder.
Good.
A very stiff shoulder. In fact, a bad shoulder. It keeps me awake at night and stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
And we have balance and coordination exercise. So there are 4. So even if you don't want to do aerobic and aerobic, you can do flexibility exercises.
Which includes what?
You saw some now.
Like
stretch.
the legs.
Good. Range of motion, he was moving it, but when he was stretching down and when he turned around, that's stretching. You see people stand up, stretch all the way. Even when after sitting for a long time, you get up and stretch and yawn. That's stretching.
Yeah.
You can stretch your neck.
That happens almost naturally.
Yes. So which means nature wants you to exercise. Just that you wouldn't.
Yeah, well, I didn't know things like that are exercise.
You
don't do that in the house, in the kitchen.
Yeah, that's flexibility and stretching exercise.
Okay,
so
what
we
about,
encourage.
does dancing qualify?
Sure,
I can dance for Africa.
Okay, now
Sure.
let us there's physical activity, there is exercise, with only one difference in between. Physical activity, anything you do that requires expenditure of energy with parts of your body. Okay.
Like house chores.
Yeah, but
Sweeping.
can't that
No,
low-key serve as
no,
exercise?
No, it's
let
not
me now
exercise.
tell you.
It's
Exercise is
physical activity.
anything you do that involves expenditure of energy, movement of parts of the body, with a goal of health benefit attached.
And it must be planned.
Okay.
So when you attach goal of health benefit to physical activity, it becomes exercise.
And it must be routine.
Yes.
So
It
if
must
I
be
sweep
planned.
the house,
it must be repetitive.
I'm sweeping my house, and my target is to ensure that I lose weight.
Then
Sweeping the house.
okay.
Yes.
Let's delve into that a bit. A situation whereby you are sweeping the house, but sweeping is not your hobby. You hate sweeping.
Okay.
It is not an exercise. It's a stress for you.
Oh, okay.
It's a stress.
You're
So
right.
people need to understand the difference. If you are sweeping and you enjoy it, in fact, you can tell your neighbor, please don't sweep. I'm coming to sweep for you. It becomes an exercise because you love it, because you plan it, because you're using it to target a health benefit
Weight
for
loss
yourself.
or keep fit.
So you just have to kind of, exercises must be planned, it must be repetitive, and it must have a targeted health benefit. So if you're just doing it without any target health benefit and it's not planned, like you just came out and a dog starts pursuing you, it's not an exercise, it's a stress.
It's a
You're running for your life.
Okay, let me take advantage of 3 physiotherapists sitting here. Like I said, I have a stiff shoulder. I won't go into the inner bits or whatever is going on. But I have a really bad shoulder that keeps me awake at night. What can I do to make it better?
What exercise?
Okay.
What exercises would you recommend?
So first, would as a physiotherapist would need to assess you, because there could be, different possibilities of what could be wrong with you.
Okay, it's osteoarthritis.
Okay.
I mean,
okay.
Confirmed.
Confirmed.
So you've done physical examination,
Yeah,
you've done
depth X-rays and all of that.
Beautiful. So usually first there is pain. So would advise that you seek the intervention of a physiotherapist. First, what we'll do is would assess you, find out the limitations that you have, and based on that we'll now plan a treatment. First we can do is relieve the pain that you're feeling. So we have various modalities that we could use to reduce that pain that you're experiencing. If you are in pain, you say it keeps you up at night, so I would want to assume that it's because of pain.
Yeah.
So first we'll have modalities that we'll use to reduce the pain that you're currently in. After that, we would now give you exercises to increase your joint range of motion, the range of motion of the joints, to increase the strength of the muscles around that joint. Because when the muscles are strengthened, what it does is it better supports the shoulder joint. And with the shoulder, it's not a very deep joint, so basically the muscles around that joint help to support the shoulder. So once you are having osteoarthritis, most likely there would be weakness of the muscles around that shoulder, which will further increase your symptoms. So then would help to strengthen the muscles and then give you some activity and work out some of your activities to ensure that you don't have aggravation of your symptoms.
Will massaging help in taking care of that?
So we as physiotherapists, if I get $1 for every time, and when I introduce myself as a physiotherapist, people ask me, so when can I come for a massage? I'll probably be a millionaire probably in dollars now. So we do soft tissue mobilizations. So that's what we do. It's part of our treatment, but it's not 100% what we do. So when we have patients, if we feel after the assessments, if soft tissue mobilization is part of the things that a patient will benefit from, yes, we could do that to help to reduce the pain, improve blood circulation, blood supply to that area, which would also help to promote healing.
Generally, when a child falls down or somebody falls down, the first thing we do, traditionally speaking, I don't know if it's right or wrong, is to get that person, sit you down, properly. Get to aboniki, not even rub. Aboniki, a very harsh one. Put it. Start with all the muscle.
Okay.
In fact, they will look for a guy whose hands are strong and tell you press it. Press it well, so that the swell can go down. Is this the right thing to do?
Let's look at it this way. When there's a fall, chances are that inflammation process will take place, inflammatory processes. And part of the thing is to feel warm. The place will feel warm because of what is going on there. Now, Abonic is also a hot balm. It contains methyl salicylate and menthol, plus other things. So, for acute injuries, we try to keep the place calm.
So even using the
Abonic
is totally wrong.
Is wrong.
No, on any acute injury, don't go for anything. Some people use hot water to press it.
What is an acute injury? What is an acute injury, first of all?
An acute injury is an injury that is few days or few weeks old, or just happened from few seconds to few weeks.
What about intensity? How grave does it need to be called an acute?
It's just the duration.
It's just duration that makes it acute.
So between the time it happens and a few days.
Few weeks.
So we're not supposed to use heat balm.
No. Keep away. Even that hot water, they say massage it. If you watch sports, football especially, you see them spray something. It's cold. That's it. There's a cold spray. There's a hot spray. Where you go for cold. Or you see them put ice packs. In physiotherapy, we call
ice pack is for white people now. Our own is hot water. And
that's why you have to correct it.
You can use ice packs at home.
Well, we use ice packs.
With which lights?
You get a cold spray. You don't need to refrigerate a cold spray. Okay? So that's what we do. So keep away from something hot because you're just going to intensify the pain. Forget about the mental feeling you're having because of the aboniki you are applied. But ideally, acute injuries, go for something cold. We call it cryotherapy.
There is a cream they use. It's called non-steroidal anti-inflammatory cream, analgesic cream. So if you are using
analgesic creams work
very well,
because I feel like it's not going inside your.
Is it because of your arthritis?
No, not really.
Just for sporting for
No,
fall?
just generally, I avoid them because I'm like, how on earth is something going to pass through my skin and eat
Okay.
The skin is permeable.
It's very permeable. It has pores.
Maybe it's because after taking a bath, we don't come out soaked. That's why nobody really believes that something passes through your skin and goes and does anything.
No, those things are the way they are manufactured. Ingredients that are put inside are made to be able to seep through the skin, pass through. It's not like using water that you bloat up. No.
Exactly, because in that case, if you went for a swim,
yes, by now you'll be like
when you come out, we should be able to do this.
No.
So I'm sorry, I probably sound like a stark illiterate, but what you said now just made sense, that there's stuff inside there that's meant to pass through the skin and enter you and go and do something.
How does cold enter your body?
Cold?
Through the skin.
That's the weather. You know, that's the weather.
The skin is permeable. There are holes. If you put it under the microscope, even looking at
well, I mean, evidently, but like I said,
Okay.
until you explain that there's stuff that's meant to carry.
If you take a cream in your hand, just keep rubbing it.
After a while, it disappears.
It disappears. Where does it go to?
It dried up. that's what we. I hope I'm speaking for everyday man. Like water, it dried up. It didn't enter inside your skin.
Once the body, if you studied physics.
No, I didn't.
Okay. Anything cold is being applied on, there is contraction. Anything heat being applied on, there is expansion. When you are rubbing the skin, you are causing a mechanical motion. That mechanical motion can cause a form of heat energy, thereby helping to open up the pores. That's why anytime you are feeling cold, you use hot water to bath, you might feel more cold. If the window is open, yes, it opens up your pores. Then there will be more. But if you use cold water to bath, just that time you pour that cold water, you feel it, then you stop feeling it anymore, because your pores will close up.
Oh, your body gets used to it. I'm sorry, I'm just playing.
So once you are rubbing, the mechanical motion will convert to heat energy, opening your pores a bit, and the cream will go inside. It disappears.
Okay.
Yeah.
But you've forgotten that there are poisonous substances that can get into the skin.
Yes.
There are poisons that once they pour on you.
Yeah, we've heard the Russians and the Chinese.
Oh my God, they have so many natural things.
Ebola. Why is it a contagious?
Well, I thought it's because because we're always using our hands. Take stuff to your mouth and everything.
No,
you don't really think about.
I'm not talking
how
about
clean your
COVID-19.
hands.
I'm talking about Ebola.
No, generally.
Once you touch the person.
Oh, that was it with Ebola. Oh.
Okay, so let's before you give me to public health now, I still want to go back to my bone and healthy living, because before we know it, we're already 30, we're already 40, we're 60, and like you said, it keeps degenerating. Somebody is asking me a question. He says, how do I begin and when do I begin to exercise to ensure that we do not have this problem? Because my mother has arthritis, I guess.
Okay. When
do I begin to watch it?
Now.
How do you mean by now?
If you've not started already.
I wish you wrote your age. I'm not.
No, if you've not started already, the next best time.
Yes, it's now.
It's now. Okay.
So because he or she ought to have started since yesterday, and she didn't start yesterday. So the best time to start exercising is now. Many people usually say, I don't have time to exercise. I'm too busy. The truth is that when those non-communicable diseases come to your table, you have time. Prevention is better than cure. Something like, let's use stroke as an example. I usually advise people, open a stroke account if you don't want to do the things that can help you to prevent it.
What do you mean by stroke account?
Oh, you're putting money
away.
You're saving money.
Yeah.
You're not preventing. You're not doing things to prevent you from getting there.
Something like now, if we carry out just more survey here, if I ask you, is anybody in your family, is anybody in your family that has had stroke in your family? If you say no, fantastic. Are you up to 40 years?
No.
You're not.
I'm going
fantastic.
To 16.
Are you exercising 5 times a week?
I do 7 days.
7 days. Fantastic. is there anything that makes you to kind of, you eat healthily very well, making sure that all the things you eat don't predispose you to those factors?
90%.
90%. Then do you know that you still get up to 40 years?
Oh, definitely. Every year I go.
These are risk factors of stroke. So this will make you to know that you need to be exercising. You don't need anybody to remind you. For osteoarthritis, which we are talking about today, prevention is better than cure, because once you have osteoarthritis, you can't cure it. You can only manage the symptoms. If the arthritis has degenerated to the highest degree, thereby even making your joints, your to have K-leg or bow leg, as the case may be, there is no way you can cure it, except if you go at the time you can now go for surgery, which surgery does not cure it. And do you know how much they used to do for knee replacement now? Okay. So if you go to most hospitals, that's not less than 2 million. Some will pay you 4 million, 5 million, 8 million, as the case may be.
And does it work completely?
It can help to solve your problem now.
But that does not help other joints.
It doesn't help other joints.
You're going to go for one joint and do the knee replacement, let's say total knee replacement. What about the other joint? Because you're still living the lifestyle that made this one go down. So which means the other joint can as well go down. So the
person should start exercising.
Exercising right.
And the person, if possible, the person should see a physiotherapist
right away,
or a certified fitness professional that can design the exercise regimen that will not predispose the person to having osteoarthritis.
Okay, I want Dorcas to take this, because this question is coming from a woman. He says, my name is Mrs. Mudashiru. I have a boy of 1 year, 5 months, but he tiptoes. What exercise can I do for him? Is it not normal for children
1 year,
to walk?
5 months.
Walks with his toes.
Walks with his toes.
Is it normal?
So for this, it's not something we can handle over the TV. But I would suggest that first, what she should do is she should go to the hospital and see a physiotherapist. Okay. What we'll do is would assess that child, and then would find out if the child is just habitually tiptoeing, or if there is an underlying condition, because for some children there could be an underlying condition. So basically we would have to assess that child, would see if the child is attaining his milestones as at when due and other things, to rule out any neurological conditions, and then we can now find a way to help.
I'll still be on you because you're a woman, and being a woman, you're also predisposed with some other things. Somebody earlier on sent us a question. He says, what has arthritis got to do with menopause?
Okay, so when during menopause there are a lot of hormonal changes that happen. But then one of the things with arthritis too is that women are more predisposed. So if you're a woman, you're at a higher risk of having arthritis as compared to...
Why women? Why not men?
So I think for one of the reasons could be one of the reasons could be, as a woman, you go through the process of pregnancy, you give birth. A lot of women, when you look at them before they get married, and then years down the line, you can see there is weight gain and all of that. So that could be one of the reasons too. So
perhaps our high heel shoes too.
Our high heel shoes could contribute, but then weight gain is as we learnt earlier, being obese or overweight could be one of the reasons. And a lot of women, I think that's one of the greatest things we suffer from. A lot of women, after they give birth, even during the period of pregnancy, the weight gain is, some women add as high as 20-30 kg, which is putting a lot of weight on those joints. So that could be one of the reasons why women are more predisposed to having osteoarthritis.
Okay. Now she talked about putting on weight in pregnancy, and that's being on the joint as well. I knew that when I was going through the same stage, if I tried to exercise, I was always put to a halt. Are there safe exercises for pregnant women?
Yes, there are. But everybody should exercise regardless of the age. But what type of exercise that the person does also matters. Now, some people go and do high impact exercises like jogging, like running. Do you know that swimming is one of the best forms of exercise if you're not afraid of water?
Somebody like me that is a stone, once I enter straight, I'm going inside.
Well, avoid deep end of the pool. Go to the shallow end where the water buoyancy can help you. because you can exercise more in water because of the buoyancy. If the water is warm, it's soothing. And I also encourage people to stretch, warm up. You don't get to your car in the morning. Once you start it, you start revving the engine and start firing. It won't last as long as it should. So you warm up, then exercise, then gradually calm down. So don't stop it at an abrupt point. So for everybody that requires exercise, there's a warm-up stage, there's an actual exercise stage, there's a cool down.
So the warm-up and the cool down is for the bones as well?
For the muscle, for the bone, for the
Yes.
whole system.
Okay.
For the whole system. So, and like she was saying about this weight gain, some women are, let's say, 20 kg, and maybe after the first child, maybe you manage to lose 5 or 10. There are still 10, and the second pregnancy happens. You add additional, maybe lose some, and other ones. And about women being predisposed, there's an age range. Let's say under 50, men are more active. So if you do a census statistics, you see that more men below 50 probably have osteoarthritis. But women above 50 now take over because of menopause, weight gain, and so many things.
So when women take over, do the men that
No.
have it, would their own go away?
No. What I mean is that when you count, do a census, you find more men under 50 having osteoarthritis than women. Then above 50, find more women having osteoarthritis than men. So
And also arthritis in women, osteoarthritis in women are more severe than that of the men.
Okay, so like we haven't really been playing with our friends out there. Let's see if we can catch up on that. Good morning, doctor. I enjoy your program. Good morning, Saz and Maz. I have a hip fracture sometime in November 2021. I was afraid of surgery, so I went for bone stretcher. I can walk slowly, but my hip is not firmly joined and it springs when moving. What will I do? Sunday from Lokoja. I don't have much of time, but I think traditional bone setters.
Yeah. See,
I wish the person had also mentioned his age, because I think that matters.
the person is actually at risk of having osteoarthritis. Like when we said, when if somebody has had previous untreated or well-treated injury, it predisposes the person to having osteoarthritis.
But basically, does he still have hope? I mean, if he goes to a specialist now.
He should go and he needs to see a specialist.
Okay.
Can see a physiotherapist or orthopedic doctor. Then they will carry out the scan and know what actually happened there and find out the possible solutions.
Okay.
So
but
if it's
from what
not
she's
that
saying,
bad,
she's not fully healed. She says she still has pain.
I think
Yes.
it's a he.
Is it
It's
a
a
he?
he.
Okay, he still has pain. He doesn't work as he should. So that means he doesn't have the optimal life. And our job is to bring you back to your optimal stage. So I believe this person needs to see an orthopedic
Surgeon
and also a physiotherapist.
All right, let's see if we can take one more. My director is really on my neck. I fell down from up when fixing my cotton, and this is since last year June. So I had a sprained ankle. Then I did all I could to get the pains off. I'm just trying to wear heel shoes. What cream can I use, or what exactly? That's Jumoke. When I saw heel, I knew it was a babe. Okay, so Jumoke, they will talk to you in a jiff, but let's see what else I can take. 48 years and I'm having arthritis. How can I handle it? If you've been listening to us, I'm sure you've picked up a whole lot. What type of exercise can one do to help back pain? We just have 1 minute to go. Maybe Dorcas, you can help us on that.
Okay. So for the back pain question. Okay. Low back pain is also one of the common conditions we see in the departments of physiotherapy. So for back pain, generally exercises, physical activity has been shown to help patients with low back pain. So exercises like bricks walking, not any high impact exercise, bricks walking, swimming can help patients with low back pain. And would also advise the patient to come to see a physiotherapist, because as I said, for a lot of conditions we need to carry out an assessment to know exactly what the problem is, so would know whether to prescribe the exact type of exercise to prescribe for the patient, because exercises are not just general, but then individualized based on the presenting complaint of a patient.
All right, thank you so much. And I'm very happy that Devan is here, and Devan is going to see a physiotherapist, because I need you to take the oath that you're going to start exercising today just before we go.
Yeah, well, I don't take pride in not exercising. I just need to admit that that is my reality. I want to start exercising. I encourage everybody to do so. Pick something that works for you. If you can talk to a doctor first before doing it, all the better. I would have so loved for the doctors to tell us what to eat rather than what to avoid.
Don't worry.
We've run out of time.
We've run out of time, so
D.
we're going to do that. And the show is still available for you if you missed out from the beginning. All the education, all the lecture on our YouTube channel. Go to NTA series, and there you get to find out what you missed out. Until then, I remain Elizabeth, and with a lovely house. Bye-bye.